Good day, everybody. This is John Scarborough. You're going to have to excuse my hoarse voice. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing here with the chainsaw and everything. All these trees we're knocking down. Some of the things that you can kind of run into. Like over here, we've got this duck house I built, and it's sitting right over here, right in the line of fire. I mean, that was all the way around with the trees that we were knocking down. Then over there, we got that little kayak. I don't know if you can see it real good. We got the kayak over there. We had to avoid hitting that. And then we've had several trees we wanted to hit in different directions around, like this one right here. I wanted to throw it this way to keep it from getting over there, so that way I can create a flow. I put another video out about making sure you can create a good flow, so that if I grab my big chainsaw, I want to do as much work as possible with my big chainsaw. If I grab my small chainsaw, I want to do as much work as possible. If I get on that tractor, I want to do as much work as possible. If I'm using that trailer, I want to do as much work as possible with that. If I grab this blade or weed eater, I want to do as much work as possible with that thing. And that's what creates efficiency and workflow. Okay, so what I wanted to say here is that's what we're trying to do. That's why we're dropping the trees in perfect directions. So what I wanted to kind of touch on is how to drop those trees in the perfect direction. Now, I'm not a professional with a chainsaw by any means. I'm not even going to try to tell you that I am. I have, however, worked on a job with professionals. I was on a tree climbing crew where we would climb trees and we would delimb, and then we'd also knock big trees down and several different things. We did that. I only worked there for 6 months. You can't become a professional in 6 months, okay? So I'm not a professional. However, it did allow me to be exposed to some really awesome techniques that, through a lot of experience with those techniques, I could become really efficient and really good. Because knowledge is not experience. Knowledge cannot replace experience. So I have a decent amount of knowledge about how to drop trees and how to make them go in certain directions and how to control them. But I'm still learning I'm still learning how to do them. And I've actually pulled this off fairly well. I did pretty much everything that I wanted to do. You can see there the duck house has weeds on it, but has no harm done to it. That tree laid right over towards it. This tree right here was leaning right up against it. If it would have fallen the way it wanted to fall, it would have hit that. This tree over here, if it would have fallen the direction, I mean, look at those limbs. You can see they're all facing that way. It probably would have fallen really close, and a couple of limbs would have ended up through there. I tried to pull it this way. In pulling it this way to help protect it, I really didn't want it in the pond if I didn't have to, because it's very difficult to get a tractor right here to pull it. So I wanted it out of the pond in order to get to it with a chainsaw. But then I've got that boat I got to worry about, okay? So I had to literally take that tree and make a tree that wanted to go just like that, and I had to make it go all the way over there. We were able to pull that off, and that came through techniques that I've learned. And then this right here, I wanted this tree to go this way, despite the fact that it was leaning this way. It wouldn't have been that bad if it would have fallen this way, but it's more efficient workflow if it's over here, okay? And then with all of these trees, some of these trees wanted to go that way, some of them did not want to go that way. But I had to take all of them and push them that way. There were a few that wanted to go that way, okay? There was one or two that wanted to come back this way. The majority of them did want to go that way, so I made them all go in the direction I wanted. Now, I will say that none of these trees were nearly as difficult as some of the trees I have seen people encounter, and some of the trees that I myself have encountered. And that's why I say I'm not a professional, because I have even tried to pull off some of these techniques that I've seen people do, some really unique, awesome techniques, and I wasn't able to pull them off. I did okay, but I didn't do exactly what I wanted to. So these were easier scenarios that I faced here. But all I really wanted to get across in this video is that it is very important, I think, for anybody that's planning on using a chainsaw. It could be very helpful for your workflow. You need to either watch some videos or read some books or something. I don't care if you've even done it before. It never hurts to learn a little bit more about the safety of a chainsaw. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, I want you want to make sure it could be very beneficial to you if you could go and learn some of the really, really good techniques of dropping trees. Because if you do a lot of this, especially if you've got a sawmill like we've got one coming, it will be here Thursday, and I'm not going to saw any of these logs up, but the point is that I will be dropping larger trees and things like that. So these techniques could be very useful to you if you have a home or homestead or a farm or something. It could be very useful to you. Not only that, they're very entertaining videos. If you watch people that are really, really skilled at their craft, and if you had a chance to actually be exposed to some of these people, that would be absolutely marvelous. But with that being said, like I said, knowledge is not skill. So you first need to learn those things, and then you need to apply them. I had a guy, he was really good with a chainsaw, and he could make any tree fall any direction. It did not matter. He had a tree that was literally bowed. I mean, it was a complete bowed over toward the road, and he literally turned it around 180 degrees and dropped it exactly where he wanted. He actually told me to tell him where to drop it, and that's exactly where he laid it. It wasn't something that was a little bit easier, you know. And then there's all sorts of scenarios. Well, he started teaching me those techniques. He didn't teach me on a big tree. He taught me on a small sapling that I wasn't going to get hurt on. Okay, so I would suggest learning some of these techniques and going out and you find saplings that need to be thinned out. Practice on those saplings. So first get your knowledge and then start to kind of get your skill. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to throw that out there. Like I said, I don't even claim to be a professional with a chainsaw, but I do claim to be a student with a chainsaw, and I would love to continue to learn more. And anything I do learn, if it's possible, I wouldn't mind sharing it. I also, with that being said, I always welcome comments, especially if you're somebody that has some really good knowledge in this area. I would love to hear it myself, and then also it would be really good for the other viewers. There could be things that I know that I missed, I didn't say. I've had people put comments on my videos about, I was making a video about a subject. They put a comment in there that was something that I didn't say. I didn't take offense to that, even though I knew it. I actually knew what they said, but I forgot to mention it. So A, when they put that comment in there, I could have had that refreshed on my mind, and B, all the people that didn't hear me say it would have got to gain that knowledge. And that's what that's about, okay? The worst thing a person can do is be offended by someone suggesting that they didn't know something. That's a terrible trait to have, and it doesn't help anybody. So anyway, I welcome comments, like I said, as long as they are respectful. You should always have respectful comments. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if y'all have any ideas for future videos or things you would like to see, things you would like me to cover about our experience or what we've done. Don't forget to let me know that as well. Thank you very much.